Hello, and welcome to Dippin's how-to video for replacing an LED lighting driver. Some tools you'll need for this install are as follows. First, you'll need a pair of pliers. Any kind will do, but I prefer to use needle nose. Secondly, you'll need either a Phillips head screwdriver, or in my case, a screw gun with a Phillips head bit. Unboxing the driver. Your packaging may look differently than this, however you should open it very carefully as it does contain small wires. Remove the packing material and take your driver out of the box to inspect it. You should have one short wire with a male and female quick connect plug and a longer wire, which inside has a black, white, and green wire. For this install, it's very important to make sure the power is disconnected. Once our power is disconnected, we'll start by removing the side access panel located next to the cabinet. To do this, remove the two Phillips head screws located at the top and bottom of this stainless steel strip. Once the screws are removed, set the strip and the screws aside to be reinstalled later. Now we remove our access panel. This is done by grabbing it and sliding it out. When you slide it out, this little spacer will probably fall out. Set it aside for later as well. With our panel removed, we can now see our old LED driver. It is held in by two small bolts located on either side of the driver. And as you can see here, we have our quick connects. We're going to start by removing our quick connects using a pair of pliers. As I said before, I prefer to use the needle nose because these tend to be a little big. Be very careful with these wires as they are small and could break. Grab the base of the clip and then pull back slightly, and they should disconnect easily. Now it's time to go inside the cabinet. Once the door is opened, you'll notice two screws located here and here. They have a Phillips head, and these are what the nut attaches to on the other side of the cabinet. The easiest way to remove these is to hold the nut on the driver while turning the screw from inside with either our Phillips head screwdriver or screw gun. Now we have our first screw removed. It's time to take off the other side. As you can see, our nut is here, and I'll be holding that with my fingers, but we're going to show you the other side of things now, of me taking the screw out from the other side. Once the nut is off, we can pull out our driver, and we'll just let it hang for now. Going back inside the cabinet, we're going to remove the front panel off of our receptacle. This is also a Phillips head screw, and there's one located in the top right corner and the bottom left. But to take out the bottom left screw, we first have to remove this. This is the wastewater tank. The sink slides out, so it comes out pretty easily. With the wastewater tank removed, we can now take out our second screw. As you can see, all of our wiring is now exposed. This black cord coming into the receptacle box is the cord for our driver. There's a screw located here, here, and here that all the wires attach to. When removing these wires, leave the screws loose, so that way you know where the wires reconnect when we do our reinstall. You don't have to take these screws all the way out, just loosen them enough to free the wires. As you can see, all of our wires are now removed, and we can remove them from the receptacle box. Once the wires are removed from the receptacle box, we can begin to feed them through the holes in the top. There's one on either side of this tray, as you can see right here, and the other one is located directly across from it here. So we just pull the wire out of the first hole and begin to feed it through the second. On the other side, we can just hold our driver and begin to pull the wire through. Our driver is now removed. To install the new driver, it's easier to take all three of the colored wires and twist them together like this. This just makes it a lot easier to feed the wire through the small holes. In this step, once you have the wire started through, you want to just push the wire through as much as you can until it goes through into the cabinet. Now that the wire's through, we can move on to the next step. We're going to take this wire now and feed it through the hole the opposite side of the tray. Once it's through, we're going to feed it down toward the receptacle. Be sure that you have enough wire pulled through to actually go into the top of the receptacle box. This may involve grabbing different parts of the wire and feeding it through the various holes to ensure you have enough length. Now that it's fed through, we can reinstall our driver. To do this, line up the holes on the sides of the driver with the screws that are located in the side of the cabinet. Once it's in place, we can start our nut on either side. These nuts are very small and can be a bit difficult to get started, but with a little patience, you can get them both on. It does help to lift up on the driver slightly. Now that the driver is held up by the nuts on either side, we'll use our hand to hold the nuts like we did before and tighten up the screws inside the cabinet. It's very important to not over-tighten these, just snug them up. Otherwise, you could crack the fiberglass inside. With our driver secure, we can now move on to rewiring inside of the receptacle. Feed the wires back down into the receptacle through the hole in the top. Be sure to pull out enough excess to work. twist the ends of each wire. This will just make installing a little easier. Your two black wires tie together, so I find it's best to just take both of these and twist them together. Once twisted together, you can bend them into a half loop. This will ensure that it wraps around the screw on the leg of the switch. Next, we'll take our white wire and reinstall it on the common side of the receptacle. And finally, our green wire attaches to the ground on the faceplate. With the wiring done, we're ready to reinstall our faceplate. To do this, simply reinstall the two screws we took out before into the proper holes, which should be the top right and the bottom left. Now that our faceplate's reinstalled, we're going to put in our wastewater tank. With the wastewater tank in place, we can close up our cabinet, because we're done in here now. Now we just have to hook up the driver itself. To do this, simply attach the male and female connectors into their counterparts. Using a pair of pliers helps this step. With our wiring installed, we're now ready to close up the cart. To do this, we simply slide the panel back into the track. Don't forget to put your spacer back in. And now we reinstall our stainless steel corner piece, lining the screws up with the same holes we took them out of. And there you have it. We've installed our new LED driver.